All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are coming home. A team that's 500, not a winning team, not a losing team, perfectly balanced as all things should be. As we said during the darkest days of this podcast, we look for anything good to be happy. Hey, boys, we got to win. And, you know, a lot of major league teams can say that. There are some that can't say that as well. We'll get into that during the show. But for now, we got to believe it's presented by Coors Light. When you're juggling work, family, and life in general, it's easy to feel the pressure. But that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill, especially during the baseball season when every single pitch can either kill your chill or bring you to another level of chill, especially when the polar bear is up. Besides, you never know when life's inconveniences can turn into a great story you can tell later with a Coors Light in your hand. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. And God, do I need them during these early season games, because you tell yourself all winter, you're just going to take it easy during the baseball season. And then Huascar Brazoban is warming up with the bullpen, and you are about to have a meltdown, and you feel your temperature rising. So you get your Coors Light, pop it, drink it, and just let your core chill down. So Mets fans, choose chill this season, and then reach for Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, boys. The ugliest game ever yesterday, but we won. So everything is gravy right now.
You said we got to win. I would just say we didn't get a loss.
Didn't lose.
Yes.
Hey, and that's the name of the game, because right now, down south, there's someone going, we are live, and the Atlanta Braves haven't won a single fucking game. So take what you can get, man. That was a game. It's so funny how, you know, we know this, all of us being in this business. It's all about spin. It's all about how you present things. And you could either say that we played like absolute shit, or you can say good teams find a way to win. And that's what I'm going with today, because, I mean, you know, shout out to Pete the Polar Bear. We're definitely going to dive into him and all the hate he got to only just shove it up everyone's asses in the early going here. He put the team on his back. No one else did anything. But you know, you made the plays when you needed to. Defensively, made the plays you needed to hold the lead or to keep the tie. I mean, good teams win, baby. Just win.
Just win, baby.
That was so gruesome, though. And when the bottom of the 11th, I guess it was, when they scored right away with the ghost runner, and then right away had two men on, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been in a console-less year, that would have tested me.
The Danny Young is going to be living in the core zone this year. He is.
I don't think Danny Young has a lot of life left.
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Danny Young is one of the early. Oh yeah, that's right. Stearns does not give a lot of rope to hang.
Right? Yeah, he'd be in and out. I understand in these situations why you have to use your closer, but once you do, and then you take the lead, and you're like, well, what? Why did we do that? And it's like, well, you wouldn't have even gotten there if you didn't do it this way. But it's so frustrating when it's like, oh, can we just bring him back in? Can we do a little golden bat? You know what? That's what Manfred needs to do. Forget the golden bat. We need the golden arm, where you can bring someone back in if you wanted to.
And that's involved strategy, because you might be ending a guy's career for all you know, right?
And you know what?
Johan Santana will be picketing right now.
Yeah, really. But honestly, for an April 2nd game, I might have risked Edwin Diaz's career.
Yeah, I was like, "Did we go with Diaz for a second in here?" I'm still in playoff mode in my brain right now.
I know.
You know? All right. So last week I said our boy Meek Phil, he trimmed the beard up, looking good. Meek Phil, I don't know, is it just you woke up with a good hair day? I feel like the hair's coming together on Meek Phil right now.
Maybe. Getting hot. Many people at Barstool have glow ups. Meek Phil is in the middle of his.
You look like a morning milk routine.
Look like it's a morning milk routine, I guess. I look like a normal person.
Meek looks like he's actually doing some fucking on the Mets bed.
I am not. I can confirm that has not happened.
Well, at least it's a possibility the way you're looking.
Meek. Well, I mean, the Mets are winning, the Braves are losing, and Meek's happy. Like that's just as good as fucking on the Mets.
All's right in the world. Those are my two favorite things: Mets wins, Braves losses.
Here's how you have to put things in perspective, though, because I know there are Mets fans out there who are not happy with this start. I think it's perfectly acceptable. I think it hasn't been great, but we always start slow. We saw last year how long it takes to get going. I'm fine. But if you're unhappy with this start, ask yourself this. Do you think the Atlanta Braves are still going to be there in the end?
Right.
What's everyone's answer?
Yeah,
Almost
even
100% when you would say yes. So if they can be there at the end, if they started out 0-7 and God knows how much longer this goes, we'll be fine starting 500. So just keep that kind of shit in perspective because the Braves are probably still going to win 100 goddamn games, even despite giving themselves a 7-game hole. So if they can do that, we'll be fine at 3-3.
everyone's saying the same thing. For no team that has started 0-7 has ever made the playoffs. I'm like, oh, so this is gonna be the first team to do it and wins 100 games along the way.
It's a weird sport because a 7-game losing streak in September, you're probably fucked. And a 7-game losing streak, the first 7 games of the year, it just doesn't mean anything. Or maybe you end up missing, second place or third place or first place by 1 game, and you're like, oh, how we not started? But you'll be there in the end because there's just so much time. And that's why I can't believe it, and I can believe it, that there are still people getting on Lindor for a slow start. And there are still people upset about, the first series of the year. And it's like, we just did this. And if I, one of the biggest sky is falling guys for the first 38 years of my life, can relax, then everybody else can too. You just have to calm the fuck down. Come on.
Are people still? I don't even know. I don't even care actually if people are still like at this point. I just know what Lindor is. It's just at some point you realize Beltran was going to start slow every single year, and then he'd be every MVP candidate. That's fine. The Soto
stuff. 150 in April, you live with it because he's going to hit like 900 in the second half.
It's probably what stops him from being like an immortal. Like, you know what I mean? If he didn't start slow, he would be like truly one of the greatest ever. He does. He's not a perfect player. He's damn near fucking close, except for this like one Achilles heel. He still ends up being the best shortstop in the league. He'll end up being one of the greatest ever. It's not perfect.
That was the point I made. It was like, if he got off to a hot start every year, he would be Juan Soto. Like, if he could play his second half the whole year long, he would be not even in the conversation. It would just be like, he is the pound for pound greatest shortstop
of all time
we've seen in our lives.
Right. I mean,
he's still in the conversation, but like, who cares?
Right.
Now the defense, I'm going to just chalk that up to the fact that he's got a kid at home now. He's getting no fucking sleep.
In a weird way, that 2-error game almost made me be like, all right, like 1 error is like, all right, what's going on? 2 errors, I'm like, this is a freak show. This is an anomaly. This is crazy. Just throw it out and forget about it. So almost in a weird way, the more errors he makes, the more grace I'm going to give. Because at the end, it's all his numbers are going to be there.
Yeah, so we'll chalk up the defensive game, the slow hitting, definitely on just his body, his life, whatever he is. I'm giving the wiggle room to like the whole team because I am still like, it's April 3rd. Like it wouldn't be opening day some years. I feel like, so I could care less. We started in March. Everything's just kind of slow, whatever. And I hope this continues throughout the year because I've been pretty even keeled starting last year because the one thing 23 did, it put our expectations so goddamn low. We weren't even mad when our fucking reliever was throwing his glove in the stands and saying they're the worst team in baseball. Like, yes, this guy gets it. It was the opposite. So I'm fine with it right now. The defense, I will say, is a kid thing. Even if you have a night nurse, a straight up nanny, or someone living full time, you got your wife. You have to worry about the 2 kids. They're in, I think, Orlando, right? You said, Kyle.
Yep.
So it's like he's in Florida. At least he's with the family. But you still have to check in. You can't just be an absentee husband. And Lindor seems like much more than that. Kyle, as a first season with a newborn, how are you doing right now watching these games?
I'll tell you definitively, he is very tired. I only have 1, so when I was like, okay, at least he's at home where he's got like that comfortability where he's not like traveling to New York and everything. So I thought we were going to be okay, but he has the excuse. The rest of the team has no excuse for that defense. Like Vientos was causing like a lover's quarrel between Gary and Keith in the booth yesterday where he was like, Gary's like, that was a bullshit play. Like he just thought it was going to be foul and he just like phoned it in. And Keith was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Vientos doesn't get the benefit of the doubt in year 2.
And that running out, that lollygag and
then the throw to Homie overthrew the catcher. Like, if you're not going to hit, you got to adopt like the Barry Bonds mantra of like, if I can't get a hit, neither are you.
Yeah,
like, you need to make sure you are buckled up, and the same goes for Beatty because.
But I'm also like Vientos is like in a weird way. Again, I'm I'm making excuses for these guys, but like if Vientos is going to be like a little bit of a superstar and has like a cocky swagger, like there's an element of him that's like, fuck it, you know?
Then he's got to hit like Manny Machado, because Manny Machado can also field.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with him is like everybody you write off the defense when you're hitting like that.
Well,
I mean, you're not. And like, obviously, again, it's early in the season, but the book is out on him. They had all offseason to watch film and figure out what he doesn't like. He's got to make the adjustments. That's why the second year is so tough for players.
The idea bats are also so uncompetitive too. It's like you swing at sliders in the other batter's box. I remember it was bases loaded in the 11th, and I was watching a game with Jack Mick. I was like, this pitcher can't throw a strike. I guarantee you Vientos is going to swing at the first pitch. It's not even going to be in the zone. It was a curveball up and in that he just swung at, fouled it off. I was like, that's just the way things are going right now.
Keith said it best on the hot mic. Piss poor hitting.
Yeah,
we've already had 2 Keith doozies in a week, or a Ronnie doozy with the Senga line, and then the piss poor hitting from Keith. That was almost like Keith by osmosis. The Senga line. I'm gonna put that one on Keith. So that was tough. We lost Kev for a minute for the people listening. Hopefully we'll get him back. Let's see. But this kind of comes up to what I wanted to bring up anyway. Let's do it. This is a safe spot. We got to believe it's a safe spot for Mets fans. Always has been, always will be. I want to hear the week 1 overreactions. We do this in football after 1 game. We could do it after 6 games, 1 week for a baseball season where there's 162 games. Give me your overreactions that you know are overreactions, but you still got to lay it out there for the world. Because listen, we all think the same thing. We're texting the stuff on the side. You can just put it out there. So if you guys want to lead off with your overreactions, I can start if you want. It's really up to you. It's fine with me.
You go ahead.
You go ahead? Okay, I'll go ahead. All right, we'll start with the first one just because we already mentioned him. Mark Vientos is in the bullseye right now because I do think we've become numb to Lindor being like bad in April, right? Soto, I think, is so good that we will give him a pass, at least rational fans. But I'm not saying Mark Vientos is in like the bullseye of like all fans, but like the cranky dad, 60-year-old Mets fans, he's going to be the target. When your nickname is Swaggy V, and then you're not running into first, you're playing bad defense, and then you're not hitting, that is the triple threat. I've seen this story a million times. It never ends good. And he has to start doing 2 or 3 of those things, right? He either has to field and run, or he has to at least hit. One of the 3 I could live with if it's hitting. But I just think Mark Vientos is, I think opening day, everyone gets like the cheers. There might be a couple little boos for people here and there. But I do think Mark Vientos, a cold first week at home, could be in like the boo zone. And I think that's the truth. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is what I see happening based on the way the team has panned out this year. Phil, do you have a overreaction? I mean, you're pretty level-headed, but like we're fucking baseball fans.
It comes down to the guys at second base that we're giving a shot to till McGill comes back. I don't think Brett Beatty or Luis Angel Acuna are going to be good major league players. Beatty, this is like his 3rd chance. We're trying him out of position. You got lucky yesterday. Luis Torrens bailed him out with that snap tag. I mean, we've already seen the Mets try out field prospects at different positions because someone else takes their job. It hasn't worked out, like Tom Smith in left field. Like that's where we're at right now with Brett Beatty.
Yeah, Luis Torrens saved his fucking life with that one. I have a theory, a working theory that Beatty is going to absolutely rake in any minor league parks, which there are now 2 in the big leagues. So when he plays the A's or the Rays on the road, however, I think we don't play the Rays on the road. So maybe World Series.
Go to Sacramento next week.
But we do go to Sacramento next week, which by the way, for people watching, I'm going to look at the schedule. When do the Braves? When do we play this? When do we play that? No. I'm looking for the double-digit start times. We only got 1 10 o'clock game until I think June. We have 10 o'clock in Sacramento next Friday, and then there's a couple like 9:40s, I believe, in Arizona. Not a lot of late games for us olds out there. So Kyle, and especially the people who are dads, we're pretty much 7 o'clock or earlier, maybe a couple 8 o'clocks in there as well. But yeah, I'm with you, Phil. And listen, I love my guy Beatty. The Believe train is already like off the tracks. I actually like Acuna that he's taken some of those at bats. That opening day at bat kind of just got me on his side, but it's like no one's wowing you.
He does have the speed too. Whereas Beatty,
I'll say this about Acuna: even if he's not going to hit, he feels like a spark plug guy where he's going to inject energy into the lineup, into the fielding. Like Beatty needs to hit. That is like he's going to be a one-trick pony when it comes to that because otherwise he's just buried in the lineup. Like you don't expect anything from him. And because he hasn't shown us anything for that exact reason, the game feels like it's moving too fast for him almost immediately.
It's like it's his 4th year in the majors, and the only real Brett Beatty highlights we have is like just him celebrating in the dugout of like someone else doing something.
His first hit home run. That's it.
Besides that,
His sister was stole the show on that one. He almost needs like he kind of like the baby face too. Like he's going to get like a little bit of a beard going or like shave his like get some cuts in his eyebrow. He needs to basically hang out with Francisco Alvarez for like a week and then come back. And then I think we might be all right with the new number 2. Like it's a whole fresh start for him with a new position as well. But yeah, Luis Torrens saved his fucking life. Kyle, do you have an overreaction?
My overreaction that I really hope is an overreaction is that Clay Holmes is not a starter. I liked what I saw at him in the spring. The biggest concern is that he can't locate. He's missing up in the zone. And then immediately he tries to revert back to like just his closing repertoire. It's like you can't be a starter and throw 2 pitches over the course of a 5. He can't even get 5 innings yet. But again, I'm going to give it to him that it's growing pains. But my overreaction is like, damn, we have like 4 starters in that rotation.
Yeah, I also at this point of the season, you get mad at people easier, but you also make excuses for people. And I mean, the defense did him no favors. The defense hasn't done anyone any fucking favors so far. It's been a nightmare.
This is also exactly what he was with the Yankees, where it's like, oh, he'd let a bunch of base runners on, he'd get a ground ball, a defense boots it. It's like, this is what he was with the Yankees, except we have to deal with it for 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah.
And then you look at his stats, it's like, oh, he only gave up like 1 earned run and pitched into the 5th inning. It wasn't that bad, but it's like, it could have been so much worse.
I'll give you my look-ahead overreaction, too. When Francisco Alvarez gets back, he needs to hit immediately because Luis Torrens is a solid catcher behind the plate. He's hitting the ball, which no one's really, like, banking on anyway. But my dude is throwing out everybody and calling good games.
That having a guy that throws out people, man, who I've missed that feeling a whole lot. I didn't realize how much.
Do you remember how bad it was at the start of last year? It was like Omar Narvaez and whoever else. We started base runners were like 47 for 47, like automatic versus. So you've been drawing a base runner until like the end of May.
Narvaez, like his numbers and just the way I felt about him. If you told me he was like, according to statistics, the worst player in the history of Major League Baseball, I would 100% believe it.
He had 1 hit at home all last season.
It was crazy. And like from the time he like joined the team to the time he left, he was just an anchor on the entire organization. I don't know how he got there, but that wasn't a Stearns, right? That was before.
That was
Stearns.
Epler.
That was Epler. Yeah, exactly. Not Epler mode for that one.
Not our guy.
I'm gonna do a positive overreaction because again, it's still spring, hope springs eternal, all that kind of stuff. And this could make no sense for people that actually know ball or whatever you want to say. Griffin Canning just looks like a starting pitcher. He looks like a big leaguer, and I'm pretty goddamn excited. They're talking about how the Angels just don't know anything about advanced analytics. Everyone with a brain wanted him because like, oh no, we can fix this guy. This is probably the way people looked at Pirates pitchers a few years ago, and then like Garrett Cole would just go to Houston, become a stud. All these guys would go to different places, become studs. I think we might have one with Griffin Canning, and it's like easier to push Clay Holmes out if any of our pitchers actually get healthy. We have Montes, and now Manaea has the setback. I guess we were a little too optimistic with the Manaea stuff. It seemed too good to be true. Turns out it was. But I am all in on Griffin Canning. My boy Pally hit me up and was like, I'm a Griffin Canning guy. I go, Pally, I haven't watched any of the spring training. I'm going to ride with you after one start. After that first start, I was like, it just looks like a pitcher, right?
Yep.
So that's my positive.
And the Astros were a team that like relatively like hit him hard in his career. Like his ERA versus the Astros from his days in Anaheim is like in the 6s.
Yeah, and Alvarez owned him, and then he held his own against Alvarez the entire time. So the fact that it was like literally a common opponent that has owned him, and he came out and shoved. That's a fucking win. Phil, you got a positive one for me here?
Positive overreaction. We get Tyler McGill for 2 months where he's at his best. I don't know. It's like April Tyler McGill's a Cy Young candidate.
He's opening day. Says if there's an opening day somewhere on the calendar, Tyler McGill will be pitching. He'll be pitching the home opener, which kind of fucking sucks in a way, but whatever. It is what it is. Hopefully he's healthy long enough and he's good. It's funny because I've been reading some fantasy people because I have no clue what I'm doing in fantasy baseball, and like the nerds love McGill because they look at
I've
his
seen
numbers.
that too.
You know?
Yeah, they're like,
It's
oh,
crazy.
he's like an analytics darling. It's like, oh, this is the year he could break out. It's like, I'm not taking any of his stats real until it's like May 29th. Like
Memorial Day McGill, we're gonna call him.
Yeah.
You get there, Tyler, you can like make me believe.
I need them to like put him in a hyperbaric chamber after every single start because
Yes.
that's what it feels like. It's like he gets gassed out in like the third round if it was a boxing match. Like he just puts all of his effort into the first couple starts, and then you're like, God damn it, what the hell happened? He's hurt or he can't locate, and then he's out.
Yep.
But I mean, he's not Paul Blackburn, so that guy is not a Met. In my head,
entirely forgot he existed until he said his
I
name.
will forget about him entirely.
If you take Paul Blackburn, that is like the rapper name, or you could do like make your rapper name. It's just Jed Lowry. It's just a pitching Jed Lowry version of the Mets. Kevin, we're doing overreaction. So we did a -1. I just did a +1. You can rip with whatever you want. Give me an overreaction. It's a safe space. I said Vientos is in the danger zone with like the older, like I think older Mets fans will be like, Lindor's a slow starter and he did enough last year in the playoffs. Soto is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be the guy, Swaggy V, and he's not running out bases. He's not fielding and he's not hitting. The old folks are going to come for his ass.
That's almost what I was saying before I got cut off is like, it's a bad trait. Don't get me wrong. But like every now and then you need one of those guys because for every one ball he runs out, he does not run out in April, he'll mash an October ball to the fucking moon. You need Manny Ramirez is one of my favorite players of all time. I'll take a little Manny before I take just like a solid, like down the middle guy. Let me think. I was hoping for Clay Holmes to come out of the gates and fucking shove it up everyone's ass. More so than Soto, I wanted him to kill it. And I will say this, I was not able to watch the beginning of yesterday's game because these early starts are fucking with me, man. And I was at football practice, and I came into the game late. And if you look at Clay Holmes' stat line, it was fine. It was a totally fine start. And I was looking through Meek's tweets, and it was like, fucking, this is Clay Holmes. and I was like, oh, okay. So
this is the Clay Holmes experience, though.
Yeah,
It's like you actually watch the start. It's like the final line doesn't match.
Yes. But I mean, as long as the final line ends up there. But I hear what you're saying is that it's not an easy start to sit through. So I would say he makes me a little not worried, but I was just hoping for a little bit of a different. I wanted it to be like Stearns knows the sauce and he figured out he can do this with anybody, and so that would probably be my overreaction in a negative way. In a positive way, Pete is my positive overreaction. What if I firmly believe from things that I've heard and just things that I think that it's all mental with Pete. And this start might have been enough or might already be an indication that maybe he just let go. He just, all right, I'm not going to hit 50 home runs anymore. Not going to get $300 million. But hey, I ain't no slouch either. And to have a couple doubles, a 3-run bomb, a grand slam before that, that's a hot start for the polar bear. And if he is going to be, even a shade of his former self, his original self, that might be my big overreaction in a good way. I saw Sal Licata. I can't watch Pete every day. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. Boom, grand slam. Next game, boom, game-winning homer. Like, if this is what you got to sit through, if Sal has to sit through this Pete Alonso, you'll be fine, Sal.
He might be a bigger mush than someone else I know.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I mean, that was like as direct, like he said it that day. And then they had the nerve after the grand slam, they opened up bashing him again. Because I'm a WFAN guy till I die. But this era right now is just a bunch of hot take artists who are just trying to get ratings through, inflammatory bullshit. They know what sells. They know what gets clicks. And there's not an ounce of realism or like genuine takes on the crew right now. It's pretty tough.
And perfect example is that they anointed Vientos like, oh, he needs to be the guy who's hitting behind Soto for the actual protection. Pete Alonso hits 40 fucking home runs every single season, minus last year. And for you to turn around and say that Soto didn't have confidence in Alonso, and that's why he struck out.
Come up with this shit.
He
That was
takes
like
walks.
2 games into the season.
He
if
takes
you're-
walks like LeBron hands out assists. Like if you're gonna walk him, if the guy is open, he's going to go and walk to first base because that's what he does. He's swinging at sliders out of the zone because he doesn't believe in Pete behind him. Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's crazy. And listen, if you're in like August and there's some body language and some comments and Soto says, boy, it was really different with Judge last year, and there's something to point to. We're 1 fucking game into that season. It's insane.
All right, I'm gonna make a little. I want to make a confession here. After the first game, on my overreactions, I just said, if Pete looks like this, it's gonna be a hard year. Because like the 3rd year in a row, I was gonna start losing my mind. But I was hoping for the best. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he's the fucking worst player ever. I hope he fucking, Juan Soto wants to leave the Mets because of him. Not at all.
Another overreaction. He's going oppo and he's hitting home runs to center field. That is 2019 Pete Alonso coming up.
Dude,
season.
And the way he holds the bat after the bombs too, it's like
he knows
part of the iconic now.
Dude, there's a when it's all said and done, it's a shame that there's going to be a very small sliver of Mets fans who really remember rookie year and second year Pete Alonso, where all he did was hit titanic blasts that were game-tying, lead-changing, or game-winning home runs. He had 50 home runs. I think 35 of them were in the 7th inning or later. And it was such a small window. You're either too young, too old, whatever. It's probably going to be like Knicks fans with Bernard King or one of those guys.
Yeah.
There was this one period of time where he was the fucking GOAT. And there's probably 500 of us total who will ever remember.
Kind of going with that Bernard King reference there too. I was thinking that it's kind of cool that if all goes according to plan, Juan Soto is going to be our best offensive player ever, where for so long it was so embarrassing, where it's this guy needs 200 home runs to be the Mets all-time leading home run leader. You're oh my God, we're so sad. Juan Soto, it's oh, that just makes sense. He's a legendary Hall of Fame player. Pete's going to almost could be like the Bernard King, where it's everyone loved Bernard King, and then Patrick Ewing came, and everyone forgot about Bernard King, and it's he's kind of just lost in the sauce of it all. I saw here.
Maybe Pete's I'm not that guy anymore. And I won't be, I can't be. That's okay. If you make peace with that, you can probably end up being more that guy than you ever would have been if you were pressing.
Yep, definitely. I saw here in the chat too, Armand said positive overreaction, Max Kranick is a stud. Max Kranick was going to be my guy, and then Phil took him, so I'm riding the Brett Beatty train to hell right now. But it's I think we're all on the Max Kranick train ever since finding out he was a Mets fan. I think we lost Kev again. Workers are doing shit, so it knocked out his internet. So we'll get him back on when he can come in. But Kranick, you come into that fucking spot. Yordan Alvarez, I hated facing him the first series of the season. It's actually great now because it's over. It's you know what? I'm just going to go to the dentist at 9 a.m., not have it lingering over my head. That dude, I think, is the scariest hitter in baseball, maybe top 3, because he's so big. He's lefty. He can lay off a bad pitch. He's just so scary, man. I'm so happy the Astros are in the American League. Thank God, man. Thank God. All right, so that was their overreactions there. I think everything was pretty fair. I think we had some good ones, and I'm sure we'll have some more overreactions as the season goes along. Speaking of which, we're about to open at home, and you got to get your tickets. So baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use GameTime, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. GameTime makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, the GameTime Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals on the seats you want. Just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT Pick setting at the top of the screen, and browse the best local GameTime Pick deals near you on the GameTime homepage. I was looking at tomorrow's home opener, and I saw an amazing GameTime Picks deal for great seats. Listed at this, fellas, standing room only at Citi Field to get in. $47 each. $47 each. And then if you want to sit down, you want to seat, $55 each. I'm starting to get worried that Uncle Stevie might be onto something about Mets fans not buying tickets, because I did not think the prices are going to be that low, but that's what GameTime does. They give you great deals. So you can put those savings back in your pocket, spend them on the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned crackers. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to buy my Mets home opener tickets now with Game Day Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. What time is it? Game time. I mean, $47 with another $20 off. Oh my God. Opening day. And it's going to be fine. I think it's like a little rain in the morning, and then it's going to be in the 60s the rest of the day. You throw a nice light jacket on, some shorts. Mwah, magnifico. I was going to get into Torpedo bats just to like put it on the pod. We need Kevin for that one there. So I guess I could go on my gripe here. That MLB TV opening day experience. Actually, no, I'm going to turn this one over to Kyle because Kyle had steam coming out of his ears.
I channeled my inner Frank of like, I'm not going to get to watch the game today. That day was the day from hell anyway. And my only like saving grace was like, I get to watch baseball. I get to watch Mets baseball this afternoon. And it was a code era. Then it timed out. Then it was blacked out because we were in New York. And this is the first year ever that I've cut cable because I was paying like $300 just for SNY. I don't watch anything else on cable. I have a million streamers. And I'm like, all right, finally, they're getting with the times. How the hell? At least it wasn't just Mets fans. At least it wasn't just New York and SNY fucking up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go all off season knowing what the traffic is going to be? And then this isn't even the first time it's happened, Clem. This happens almost every season, I feel like.
So, like, I'll just do the nerdy, like, behind-the-scenes stuff from what I can gather. And this is just from what I know. When I worked at ESPN, I was in quality assurance, so we make sure everything worked right, you know, during the season, before the season. And, like, you can test stuff in, like, a test environment, and the coders, the people with the big brains, they can do everything in, like, a test environment. But you never truly know what's going to happen when you move it to production, which is obviously the live environment. And I feel like every year we would be like, man, I hope like when the tournament starts, the brackets work. And then the brackets wouldn't work. And I imagine MLB is in the same spot. The only difference is everything, like every sport pretty much, it's how it finishes, not how it starts. Baseball is the one sport where it's like opening day is our day. And I feel like I don't know if there's a way they can do it. Like just make spring training break. At some point, have everything in production so that when it breaks during spring training. No one's going to give a goddamn shit anyway about spring training. And then when opening day hits, you don't have people like Kyle, people at work, people all over the place losing their minds. Phil, I imagine you were able to watch in the cave because we have DirecTV.
Yeah, I was watching with Frank.
Man.
Also, spit in my goddamn face and tell me it's raining. Then you're going to email me and say, here's a code for if you spend over a certain, how much is it? It was like $10 off a order of $30 or more or something.
So it was $10.
That is insane.
They said, listen, we know opening day is the biggest like thing in baseball and hope springs eternal. You love the national pastime. And as a gesture of goodwill for supporting us during these tough times, we want to give you a coupon for $10 off your purchase of $25 or more. And when I saw that, I just saw red and I got really angry and I tweeted out a thing about it. And I was like, only baseball could completely screw up their biggest day of the year, which is opening day, right? Because everyone cares at this point. And then they go, listen, you guys give us some more money and we're going to like kind of like take care of you by making you spend more money.
Doesn't even cover the shipping.
Doesn't cover the shipping or tax. And to make matters worse, Kyle, people were telling me, they already have a coupon on their site, $7.99 free shipping, which is $7.99 off anything, and you can't combine the coupons. So they basically give you $1 for ruining your opening day. I mean, it came in the fifth inning or so, fifth inning. So it's like at least it wasn't a complete wipeout. But for us Mets fans, we were already freaking out, not knowing how it was going to work, being on the SNY MLB TV app this year. It was just such an unnecessary. Like you have enough worries going on before opening day. You don't get to see Juan Soto's first at bat and hit as a Met. So Major League Baseball.
She DM'd me a pirated link so I can watch the first.
Nice, yeah. Sell the 7 Cs or whatever. It's just a good reminder. Like we all need this. Like, oh yeah, baseball. Like there's a chance your team's gonna have not hit for like the first month of the season, like the Mets are doing. And this is why I hate baseball. This and that. And it's like, oh yeah, and Major League Baseball is like the worst goddamn company in the world. So we need those reminders. We got it opening day. We got it out of the way early. I was very happy for that. So
that was what it is of the house on fire though, because I used to work at Advanced Media for MLB, and every year it was like waiting for it to break, and every year there was something that went wrong with it.
And again, it happened at ESPN too. It happened when I was at Sporting News. Like There's just like, I guess there's just no way. It's legitimately crazy. That was 20 years ago. I was working at Sporting News, and 20 years later, we haven't figured out a way to make things work for like at least just opening day. Let's look ahead here, boys. So we got 3 against Toronto, 3 against Miami at home before we ship out back west to Sacramento. That's a whole other conversation for another time. Tyler McGill getting the home opener start against, is it Kevin Gossman? Is that right?
Correct.
Yes, Max Scherzer with his little thumb injury, and it's everything's connected with Max Scherzer. Everything is a body parts fault, right? So then we got Canning versus Bassett. Oh, the Bassett Hound coming back. Peterson versus Francis. Is that Jeff Francis? Bowden Francis. Jeff Francis.
He's the one that had a no-hitter through 8 innings that Lindor broke up in the ninth last year.
Shit. Hell yeah. Jeff Francis is 44 years old. He last played in 2015. I just had to make sure
2015 is more recent than I would have guessed.
I was like, I feel like I completely made an old man move with that guess, and sure enough, 10 years ago. That Lindor on 9/11, no less, home run, break up the no-hitter. Right. That was, a season full of magic. That kind of gets lost in the mix sometimes, but every Mets fan can tell you. I remember, Phil, I think you were with Frank for that one, and I thought we were going to lose the big man, even though he was already on his
didn't react to it at all, and I was going nuts. I remember
it. Phil,
you get a first look at Vladdy, who's struggling mightily, by the way.
Is he?
Yep.
He has the Pete disease, which if I have to hear about Pete Alonso, it's not because of the contract one more time. It's like, all right, then he's just old and he sucks. Like the numbers are the numbers when it's all said and done. He's not sucking right now though, so thank God for that. Phil, give me some scouting on the Blue Jays after the first week. They've been all right.
Andres Gimenez is the best cleanup hitter in baseball. Apparently,
right.
He's hitting bombs left and right. Andres Gimenez is going to be a pain in the ass this weekend.
Give me Jimmy.
George Springer has a revival in the first 6 games. But,
boy, you're just naming names I totally have stowed away in my brain.
Yeah. Taylor Heineman somehow has a 4.29 average in 6 games. Never heard of him. So yeah, that's what the Blue Jays are so far.
They have guys Phil's never heard of. That's all you need to know about the Toronto Blue. I know Bo Bichette is actually hitting on my fantasy team. So it's like with like some of these guys, you think they're dead. Is Biggio's kid even in baseball anymore? Cavan Biggio?
They DFA'd him last year. He got picked up by the Dodgers. I don't know if he's on a team yet.
The last thing we need is a Hall of Famer's kid going to the Dodgers.
He's on the Royals.
He's on the Royals now?
Yes. I know he was picked up by the Dodgers and Braves last year. So he's just bouncing around. He's not that good.
Yeah. If you can't make it with either of those teams in their minor league systems. He's batting 250 so far in this young season. I didn't think he'd be in the majors right now with the Royals. 250. That's about it. A couple little singles or something like that. And then we got the Marlins coming up next. This Marlins team, not bad, right? Like it's like they're just scrappy. They're like getting these little walk-off wins, you know? I
remember someone was like, "Oh, it's April. They can't lose a series to the Marlins now." It's like we can play the Marlins in August when they're a much worse team and somehow find a way to claw out games.
I actually like when they believe in themselves. Like I fear them less in a weird way because
I'd rather have these Marlins games now in April.
Yeah. I thought Cohen was for sure winning that game too, because I saw he had that big hit the other night too. So I thought.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the camera angles SNY was doing in that ninth inning.
Yeah,
it's like Gary knew that ball was like shallow off the bat, but the camera just showed the fucking everything.
That's always. I feel like every time they go to an away park, if they have somebody new on the camera, it's always going to be the case that they just start going into the crowd. But I mean. At least Gary seems to have figured it out again. He was losing. I didn't want to talk about overreaction. He was seeming to lose his touch a little bit with those balls that were getting to the warning track and driving me insane.
And
but
then
that one I did not think was
in the 8th, he was so adamant that Edwards was safe, and I was like, I see his hand clearly above. Am I missing something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly at that point too. That first base call that they missed too last night was terrible. The guy was right there. I was half watching, like, what? They called that out? Like, what are we talking about here? It's early for everybody. The cameramen, Gary, the umpires, the players, everyone's just getting warmed up. So I guess we'll chalk it up to that. It's definitely been ugly. I guess the last thing we can talk about, Kev, I don't think Kev's coming back. Torpedo bats, my take on it is I'm already sick of the torpedo bat dialogue. The fact that what happened with the Yankees made it great because it got every Yankee fan angry and it ruined their 9 home run day because then they were fucking fighting everybody on the internet. And the only thing I am honestly mad about with the torpedo bats is that Uncle Stevie and his fucking nerds didn't come up with them first, or at least that I know of, because this is why we want Steve Cohen. We want the money, but we also want the guy that, you know, was never convicted of insider trading, but also paid a pretty hefty fine for it. So it's like, I want a guy that's going to find every fucking advantage to win. And if we weren't the ones pumping the torpedo bats out, I'm kind of mad. I also think if they were called like the math bats or the probability bats, they wouldn't be as mad, but torpedo bat is such a fucking egregious name.
The other thing with the torpedoes, this whole like story, it only is because the Brewers were just throwing 88-mile-per-hour meatballs down the middle. The Yankees the last 2 nights have been like pretty bad offensively. It's like Zach Allen struck out 13 in like 7 innings. It's really just the Brewers pitching was that bad that it made a national headline.
Also, Stanton was using it in the postseason last year. I don't know how
Lindor
nobody
was using it in last year.
Yeah, I the shape for, I guess it was Chaz, and those Photoshops are great. For whatever reason, his bat just looked like egregiously different than everybody else's. And the barrel just kept getting bigger and bigger, and, you know, Dave was leaning into that one.
They're like, as Dave continues to get bigger, people less and less understand what he's doing. And just seeing the people replying to him dead serious, like angry as he has the Boston hat on, ends it with like complete unbiased opinion here, and they just fall. It's like watching just a little bug fly towards like those little blue lights, the little bug zappers. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, Stan having like both elbows explode on him after using the bat and hitting bombs for an entire off season. I do feel like there's a chance maybe but like in the end, if everyone can use him, then who gives a fuck?
People comparing it to like Spider Tack. Obviously, now that we can weigh in on the fact that it's like ridiculous, it's just a bat. But like, those are 2 very different things. When you have a grip that you can't even like get the ball off your fingers, like it's in the replacements where the cup's stuck to his hand, versus a bat that you still have to make contact with on the sweet part of the bat. Like, they're going to make the adjustments no matter what.
Yeah. And every time Anthony Volpe hits a home run, we're all just putting an asterisk on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As long as we're in agreement there. The soft hitting shortstop, I'm not going to give him a pass like this. So, all right. That's the episode. Are we getting a merch update through the year? I'll tell you, the merch stuff is like, it's gotten harder to get stuff approved here at the store. I think they're just being they're like finer tooth comb, which is fine. So it's not like we could just throw stuff in the store and it just goes up like it used to. But if we get any big viral moments or whatever, I saw the Yankees guys had a Chisholm torpedo shirt and stuff like that. We'll put it up there if it gets approved. But at this point, it's kind
I
of
saw people asking about the sweatshirt, t-shirt for Polar Bear. Like, just tweet at the Barstool store. Maybe if enough people do it, they'll bring it back.
Yeah. Again, I could have people tweet me a million take all my money gifts. Unless you buy it, it's not going to make a difference, because I've learned that the hard way with my shirts. I get more gifts than I do sales at the end of the day, and it's like I can't come back to the store and keep having them pump stuff. I just made this shirt like last week. I just make my own shirts now. That's kind of what I'm doing.
I asked them to make the hat. They said no. I said, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to do it myself. One of one. Sorry,
one of one. Maybe we'll be selling T-shirts outside like Barstool at the ballpark.
We'll be on the bridge from the train with all the other guys.
$5. All right, so let's go get a little home opener win tomorrow there. I'll be gonna be there tomorrow. Phil's gonna be there tomorrow. Kyle, you going tomorrow?
To the office?
No, to opening day.
No.
Clem will be there tomorrow. We're gonna do some man on street before the game if you see us. Questions. So
I've been for that. I remember that was brought up over the winter about doing Mets man on the street, and I do think Mets fans are the best fans to do that with for all. I mean, Yankees fans are pretty good in certain respects, right, where they don't realize what's going on, but Mets fans can give you a wide array of incredible answers. So, hey, so far so good. So far so all right. I guess good. A win's a win. Win a series. We're on the roll now. Got the Astro series done with. Let's go out, beat the Blue Jays, and have some fun. Gotta believe.